on here that you may not have realized. So worth keeping an eye on this homepage. We're always updating it with new articles. So for example, we just done a new one on how to grow a pro shop. So a really useful article there for anyone who's looking to grow year on year, which as a pro, hopefully you're aiming on doing. But it also gives you the latest news, so where we are, what we're doing. You've got things like the free access to the free budget planner as well. So if you haven't tried that, make sure you click on those and download those. But I'm getting distracted. Let's focus on stock control. So we are talking about how to get the most out of this. So let's start with the basics. So for example, just putting a product in. So I guess there's two ways here. You've got the fundamental. I've got a brand new product that I've never had before, which at this time of year, you may start getting stuff through the door. It's a little early, but you might be getting some stuff through. So if you are and you've never had that product before, then you're in the stock control section on the left-hand side there, and you're clicking on scan stock in. Nice and simple, literally, if it's got the manufacturer's barcode there, scan it in, and that should bring up the product. That will download it from Xcodes, stick it in here, and again, remember the differences between this system and previous systems. Now you've got the images, etc. in there. We used to have a matrix style introduction into putting products in, but now you can just input it onto the screen. So you'll see all the relevant variants. So it's not going to bombard you. The problem with a matrix is, as good as that was, you potentially had 50, 100 different products. So you had to try and work out which one to click into to put the stock in. This is much easier. It'll only show the variants that are relevant in this case. So you can scan one and put the stock in and just keep scanning. So as long as it's from the same supplier, just keep on scanning that product in and put it all through here. As I said, change quantity, adjust cost price, sales price. That'll update your margin. Do keep an eye on that margin. I mean, here you can see nice 70%, so that would be useful. But do keep an eye on that. Make sure that's as accurate as you can be. Obviously, then your reports make more sense. Top of the screen, invoice number, reference number, delivery note number. I think that's sort of self-explanatory. Put all that in there, but also notes in there as well. So if you wanted to put some notes against that delivery, you can do. So key thing, as I said earlier, make sure it's all from the same supplier. If you've got a different supplier delivery that's happened at the same time, do all the one supplier at one, finish that one, and then go and do the next one after that. But that should be pretty straightforward. Now, if you get distracted trying to complete the delivery and you've got halfway through, meanwhile, you've got to go and make some sales, don't forget that you've always got the save button at the top here. So you don't have to complete the delivery there and then. Save won't put it into stock. So if you've got 5 or 6 items in there, it's not going to put it into stock, but it will keep it on the back burner for you to come back at any time. But if you're happy, literally just press complete at the top right there and off you go. Obviously, it's just warning you to make sure there's any price changes and you're done. So that's that delivery in. And the stock control page, you can see there, here we've got a list of all the deliveries we've done and the status of those deliveries. So on the type here, we've got little arrows. The green is obviously completed, so the one we've just done. And the amber is a save, so that's where, again, we've got distracted. We saved it halfway through. And the red one, just out of interest, is the stock out. So in the same way that we did a stock in, you can do a stock out, just scan it, and that will take the product out. I won't show you here, but that's effectively the same thing. And then subsequently, once you've done that, you can print out labels based on that delivery as well. So click on the product there, click print labels, and that will print the labels based on the quantities you've had delivered. So pretty straightforward stuff. Now, obviously, that means you've got Xpos open. And don't forget, this is, again, an obvious thing I know, but you can just open this Xpos up on an iPad if you wanted to and walk around the shop. You don't have to be stuck behind the till. But to take it one step further, because as good as Xpos is on a tablet, for a mobile phone is too much information for a mobile phone. So that's why we decided to develop Zap Pro. So that's XAPP Pro. If you go to your iOS or your Play Store, you can download that app onto any mobile phone, log in with the same details that you have in here for the staff, and you will be able to do pretty much the same stuff, but it's just more mobile friendly. It's easy to use. And don't forget, everyone who's had an upgrade will get a free Bluetooth barcode scanner, so they can just zap that away with it. So you don't use the phone camera anymore, much more efficient to use the barcodes. We've tried the cameras in the past and hit and miss in different lighting conditions. With the scanner, we have no problems, hence why we're giving them away free with the upgrade. So got your scanner, you got your phone with the Zap Pro app on it. Literally just walk around the store, doing exactly what we've done here. You press scan stock in, you scan the product in, you update the pricing, product's now put into stock. Nice and simple. So hopefully fairly straightforward. Shouldn't have any issues there. That's obviously creating using Xcode. So that's creating products. Now, if you're getting top-ups, it's exactly the same process. So exactly the same thing. I've had the product before. It really doesn't matter whether you have or not. If you haven't had the product before, it'll download it from Xcodes. If you have had the product before, it will automatically find it from your database. And the same principle, add the stock. Again, adjust the pricing, because remember we use an average cost price through here. So if you've got the product cheaper than the one we had before, not a problem. Just simply scan it in and it will change the price, and it'll update the average across all of your stock that you have of that product. So that's if you're using Xcodes. Now, there may be situations where you need to create the product because it's not an Xcode, so it could be a green fee or something like that. And don't forget, I will remind you, if you have a product that you're pretty sure should be on Xcode, so in other words, if the product's got a manufacturer's barcode on there, do make sure you give us a shout if it's not coming up, okay? So just give through the chat window or give us a phone or even an email, and we will get that product on there as soon as we possibly can. Obviously, it does depend on how the manufacturer or the brand comes back to us, but we'll always aim to get there as quickly as possible. So do let us know. That should be your first port of call. Worst case, if you have to create the product yourself, then do come into the product section on the left-hand side, and you can click add product here. And now you can obviously add the products, but already, obviously, it's going to take a lot longer than if you just download Xcode. So you've got to give it a name, associate a brand, a group, etc. So you've got to fill all this in, and then obviously the different attributes. So I would 100% always recommend you go down the Xcodes route, because it's just a lot quicker and a lot easier. So there's the product side of things. I won't go into too much detail there. Maybe we'll cover that if you're looking for more information on that side of it. Okay, so that's the stock ins. So in terms of stock taking, so again, I know I went on about it last week, but effectively, this is a great time, and I guess you're being forced by your accountant to be doing stock takes at this year, but never a bad time to start a good habit. So if you can get into the habit of just doing maybe weekly, just a small stock take every other week even, that is a great thing for your business. And again, I'll remind you why that's a great thing for your business. If you've got accurate stock levels, you can make better decisions, and that's the whole point of an Xpos system. It isn't just to scan stuff through day to day. It is actually to give you the numbers at the end of the day to make you more efficient, to make you more money. That's the whole reason for doing all this stuff. Okay, so stock in terms of stock taking, well, we're back to the app here. So you don't do stock taking through Xpos. You complete the stock take, but I'll come back to that. Effectively, any stock taking now is done through the app, so through Zap Pro. So again, it does the stock ins. Now it also does the stock taking as well. So when you fire up the app, you'll see there's a button on there that says stock taking. Click on that, and that will then guide you through the process of what to do. So, but effectively, first off, you pick which group you're going to do. So you can do the whole shop if you want to. So there's a select tool there if you want all of the groups. Again, wouldn't recommend you, if you're going to do this regularly, I wouldn't recommend you do the whole shop every time. That could be a bit demoralizing. But instead, I would focus on doing it section by section. So probably the most common thing is to do it product group by product group. So when you get the menu up, you'll see a little arrow. You can click on that to select which group you want to do. So tick on the one you want. So let's say shoes or balls. And then effectively go to the next screen, so top right to move to the next screen, and that will allow you then to pick the brand that you want to do. So if you really want to do a very small stock take, and I guess I'd only ever do that if you had an issue with something. So let's say, I don't know, you thought your Titleist balls were out for a particular reason, and you just want to do that brand within that group, then you can do that. You can just pick one brand within a product group. But generally, if you're just doing a regular top up of stock taking, then select your product group and then select all your brands within that product group. So that will basically go for golf balls, all the brands that are associated with that. So the system already knows what those are. So you don't need to pick individual ones, just click select all, and that will only then do a stock take for golf balls for all brands. Okay, so once you've done that, off you go. You can give it a name if you want to. Otherwise, it'll assign the date and time that you created it. And then you can either go straight and start scanning, or you can say, actually, as a manager or the owner of the business, maybe you don't want to do the stock taking, which is a good idea. Give it to one of your assistants, and they can do it on their phone, for example. So you could start the stock take, put it on pause, and let them take the stock take on their phone. So you can do that. Otherwise, just carry on, do the stock take again with your Bluetooth scanner that will be synced into your phone. And just zap all the products that are within that particular group. So all golf balls in this case. Once you've scanned all the golf balls, you then get one final option to review. And don't forget, just a little tip when you are doing the scanning side of things, if for whatever reason the barcode's not working, there is a search option. So you can click on the top of the screen, you'll see there's a search option there, and then you can manually search. And again, that's much easier when you're just doing it by product group. So you'll just give you a list of the products within balls, for example, and you can start to type to narrow it down if you want to as well. So find the product there, and you can then type in what you have scanned. So, which reminds me, you can either scan each one individually, or you can scan one and say, I've got 5 of those. But obviously no pricing at this stage. It's literally just counting what you've got in stock. So you counted what you've got in stock using your scanner. You then go to review that, check all those numbers are correct. So you've still got an opportunity to change it as the person doing the scanning. And then if you're happy with all of that, effectively, all you got to do is say, yep, I'll complete that stock take. And that's completed on the phone. Now, there is a difference here between completing on the phone and then completing in Xpos itself. So at this stage, even though I have completed on the phone, it's not actually committed those numbers to the database. So you still will be showing the previous numbers, so what you had in stock up until that point. So all you do then is come to this screen within Xpos, which is the stock take screen on the left-hand side there. And effectively, when you go in here, you'll see the status of all your stock takes at the top. So you'll be able to see if you've created a new stock take but haven't started counting, then there'll be numbers in there. If you've started counting but haven't yet completed that, then there'll be numbers in that screen there. And then finally, if you've completed it on the phone, but you haven't yet completed it in Xpos, which is the stage we're at now, then there'll be a number in there. So you would have a number 1 in there, and that would highlight it. And then finally, so the last process effectively is to find the stock take in this list here. Click on the View Stock Take button. And when you're in there, that will give you the discrepancy list. So that will show you, finally, we can compare what I've scanned to what Xpos thinks you should have. So it gives you an option to effectively review what's been scanned in. So if I've scanned in 23 sleeves of Titleist Pro V1s, but Xpos thinks you only have 20, then obviously you'll have a discrepancy of 3. So it's then up to you to go final check, effectively go, I'm happy those 20 are correct, or actually, no, I think he's just missed one, and change that. So you can actually type into the screen and update those numbers so that effectively you get the right number in there. But obviously, if it is correct, if there is a discrepancy, then you are happy to commit the numbers that have been scanned, complete that stock take in Xpos, and that will update your stock levels. So what was showing as 20 will now be ordered accordingly. So you will update to whatever's been scanned into that particular stock take. So that's your stock take then updated. All of Xpos is updated. You've got your discrepancy list. At any stage, you can come back and review that just to see what was done. And that's as easy as it is. So literally, it's just walking around the shop scanning. And because it's so easy, you have no excuses. You have to be doing more regular stock takes. I don't want you just doing them when your accountant tells you to. There you go. There's a little lesson for today. That's enough nagging from me. Okay, so that's stocking in and stock taking. So what else do we need to go through? So any more questions on stock taking and stocking in, do let us know. So you may be aware, hopefully you're aware, that we did an update this week. So I just wanted to guide you through some of the key things that went in there. So let's have a quick look. So the first couple of ones. So first off, it's the customer search within sales. So that's very simple. Basically, we've added more information when you do the search. So when you're in a sale and you're adding a customer to that sale, it will show you more information about that customer so you can decide whether they're the right one for you. So mobile number, postcode, email, etc. So it just makes it easier to find the right person. So hopefully that will help you. So that's now in the sales screen. The second thing actually is the quick keys within the sales screen. Now, no difference to in terms of what you're seeing on the sales screen itself, but we've made some differences to the way that you set it up and what displays on there. So have a little play around if you want to. If you go into settings and then sales and then quick products, you'll notice it looks completely new. So we've changed the way it does it, and hopefully you'll find this a lot more intuitive. Actually, there's also some very useful new things that you maybe didn't realize. So I think most people, when they're using quick keys, generally would assume that it's the stuff like coffee, pencils, ball markers, things like that don't have a barcode around the till, which is very good. You can just put those on there as individual products onto your quick keys. So to do that, all you do is press the relevant location here on the left. So in this case, main shop. That will display what your current quick key products look like. So hopefully you can see that there. And if you want to add one, you just literally press the plus there, and you can then effectively decide what appears. And this is the thing that you may not have realized what can appear there. So you can have an individual product, which is the most common way, but actually you can also have a group, for example. So you could actually have, let's say you sell a lot of green fees. Rather than having to list each green fee individually on the quick key product side of things, you can actually just have the group green fees or whatever you've called it in that particular quick products area. So it saves you having to fill up all of your quick keys with loads of different green fees. You can just have the group of green fees. Click on that on the quick key products, and then that will guide you through the quick key area. So it makes it much easier for you to find, to manipulate that area and make it easier for you to bespoke it for whatever you think your system needs. So you can do it by product variant, even by price break. So just click in here and search for the one that you want, and that will add it. So have a play around with that. You can obviously move them around, etc., change their colors. Still, if you hover over the button there or click on the button, it will give you an option to delete or edit or move or change the colors. So that's the quick key. So yes, slight change there, and ultimately, obviously, that affects then what happens on your sales screen. Okay, what else? So reverse sales. So this has been around. You may have noticed this. I'm just going to remind you what these do. So if you want to reverse a sale, so just to highlight what the issue was before. So due to tax reasons, we can no longer allow editing or deleting of sales that have been completed. So we appreciate that sometimes you just make a mistake when you finish the sale. So let's say I put the wrong payment type in, or maybe I've even forgotten to put a product in, whatever it may be. So it can be a pain to then have to reverse the entire sale manually to then put another sale in. So this just speeds that process up. So it means you don't have to do everything again from scratch. So by highlighting the sale in the sales screen, the one that you want to reverse, click on reverse sale, and effectively that will reverse everything you've done. So that will put a minus figure effectively against each one. You then put the payment type in, complete the sale, and obviously that will reverse what you did previously, and that speeds, as I said, the whole process. These pencils are doing well today. So yeah, it just speeds the process up for you on returns there. So hopefully that will help. Another thing which has just popped up there, which I want to show you, is this message here. So start a new sale. So we get it at this time of year. Maybe you're not so busy, but you're going to start picking up in the next 2 or 3 months. And we know that when things do pick up, you just want to process those sales as quickly as possible. So we've given you some options in what happens at the end of a sale. So traditionally in V2 and previous systems, when you finish a sale, you're back to that sales screen. You've then got to press your staff number to go on, and staff button to then carry that next sale on. So just obviously that slows it down. I know it's only one button press, but that obviously takes that little bit extra time. So what we've done is help speed things up by giving the option to what happens when you do finish a sale. So what I've set up here is to ask me effectively every time I finish the sale, do I want to crack on and get onto that next sale? So if I press yes here, that will effectively now start the new sale up. And you can see I've used the same staff details as I had before. So all I need to do now is start scanning away. So that really does significantly increase the speed. But you can change those settings. If you find that question really annoying and you don't want to have to go straight into another sale or even press no there, you can change it. It's in the terminal settings. You want to be a little bit careful here, but effectively you can play around with the terminal settings and change what it does. So it's under here, under terminal settings, under sale complete action. I've got it set to ask. You can have it set to return sales list, which is sort of the old school way of doing things, or you can even get it to automatically start a new sale. So if you really are busy, you can set it to that if you want to. So default is ask. Obviously, if you want to change it back to as it was, then do it. So that was under settings and terminals there. Okay. What else have we got? So competition entries. I'm not going to go into huge amounts of details here, but for those guys that do put their comps in, so up until this point, hopefully you have been taking advantage of the account transfer. So that's, I guess, after the competition has finished. Once you've got the results in, you're transferring from the competition account to multiple individuals all in one screen. So that was a big step up from what we did in V2. So hopefully that's really helped you. But we also wanted to help you with the initial taking of the monies within the as the competition is happening. So this is the end result. We can now set up for you the competition entry side of things. So again, I'm not going to go into huge details, but it means that when you go into the sales screen here, you're going to get a new button, which basically looks like a blue button with a cup on it, and that will allow you to pick your competition. So you'll get a list of all your competitions. So blue button will be here. You get a list of all your competitions that you run, and you could just have one to cover them all, or you can break them down into each competition entry and fee as well. So it'll already default have the fee in there. So it makes it very quick then to add that to a sale. And then obviously, because of the beauty of cloud now, you've got a lot more flexibility. So I can chuck all of that all in one sale if I'm selling lots of different things. It all goes into the same pot. So that makes life much easier for you. Okay, so, and then I just wanted to quickly say new things that are coming as well. So we're working on reports now. So we always had the plan to just get the core reports out there initially. Remember, we have changed the look and feel of reports. So in the old V2 and V1 system, it was very much, well, we had 85 reports, way too many for most people. When we asked people, what do they think? How do we improve the system? It was, well, I like the system. It's just I only use sort of 25% of the reports of it. So we really want to change that with cloud, get you more involved. So we have a long-term plan of what we'll do and help you get more out of this information with Xpos basically telling you what's going on as opposed to you having to go to the reports all the time. But before we get there, we needed to just get the basics. So we got these core reports out there. So that's sales analysis, end of day, brand statistics for buying, etc. So those give you all the information. And again, unlike V2, where you had to pick the filters up front, you had to pick which groups you wanted. You had to even work out which report you wanted out of the 85 on choice there. Now you can literally just got the basic reports, and once you're in the report, then you can play around with it. So you can change the option to view by product group or change it maybe to variant. So if you just want to look at the SKU in detail, you can, all within the same report. So you're not having to come out of a report, find a different report, go back in, change your settings, etc. Everything's just much more simple, much simplified, sorry, and you can then play with the report once you're in there. So it gives you a bit more hands-on. But this isn't the end. So this is just the start of reporting. So bear with us as we build new functionality. So we have got some new stuff coming, like the aged debtors, etc. And even much to my disappointment, we're probably going to bring back the X-Read as well, which we were hoping to make everything digital. So we want you to get rid of paper. You don't really need paper anymore moving forward. But bottom line is we appreciate that some people want to be able to print off a receipt with the end of day takings on there. So we'll bring that back shortly. And that's obviously we're learning as we do it here to sort of mix the new with the traditional. So I think we've got a really good system now that's working for most people that have it on there. So we'll be taking your feedback. Really do love all your feedback as we develop more stuff. And as I said, the really exciting things are coming now in the next 6 months or so. So watch this space. So I think I've got it there down to half an hour. So I think we're there. So if anyone's got any questions, obviously do let me know. I will pause if you want to just chat something in or unmute yourself. You're more than welcome, and we can have a quick chat. We'll briefly pause. No. Okay. Awesome. That means
I've got a small question if you want.
yes. Yeah.
if on the stock take, even though you click to say you accept that stock take hundreds of times and you've checked it and all that, if you then walk around your shop and you find an area you haven't scanned in properly, so like FootJoy clothing, and you found a little bit on the wall that you didn't scan, at that point, is it easier just to do it as a stock in?
If you've already completed the stock take in Xpos, then yes, it's probably easier to do just a stock in to adjust, or a stock out as you need. So you can, yes, do it that way. If it's only a couple of products, if it's an entire brand of that particular group, so if you can say, oh, they've completely missed, I don't know, completely missed a whole brand of things, then just think about how you can, because the app will allow you, as I said earlier, to narrow it down by group or even subgroup and brand, so a combination of the two. So if you can narrow that search down to what you require for that particular missing section, then by all means use the stock taking app to do another one, and crack on.
And just another one on your screen, would you just be able to do an account credit for a customer?
Yep. So
because I think when I'm doing the account credit, I want to just make sure I'm doing it how you're doing it.
Yeah, so you're always, the difference between V2 and this one is that you are just finding the customer first. So you can't do anything. You'll notice none of these buttons are highlighted because you have to pick the customer first. So it just forces you to do that first. And then
so what we're finding, it's a small thing, but when a customer's in debt, let's say, and he comes in to clear his account, if you now push account credit, I can't see what he owes anymore.
Oh, okay, because you can't move this window. Yes, no, that's fair enough. We have got that, I think. Yeah, we have got that as a Jira, so we will we'll add that in there, so you can just move this window across, or you can see what their balance is. No, that's a fair shout. Obviously, you can see it here. You can see it on this screen before you go to it. But
at the point I'm trying to type it in, I'm having to remember it at the moment.
Would it be even better to have the default amount in there, or would that be frustrating because it might not be them paying?
Yeah, but no, I'm happy typing it in. I just need to see what it is.
No, that's fair enough. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay.
I have one, Mark, if you have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Just on competitions, I just so I have it kind of right in my own kind of mind.
Yeah.
When we create the competitions and the revenue is assigned obviously to a competition account or to a club directly separate to the company, for example, and you press the button and you complete it all under one transaction. Obviously that competition kind of fee or whatever is now belongs to the, let's say, the men's club, for example. And when we go then, let's say, to transfer money across, let's say, to pay out for a competition prize or whatever, that's obviously taking directly from their side of the revenue and just crediting it to the other company, let's say, who might be the one who owns the account balances, if that makes sense, which might be different.
Yeah, so you have got more than, I assume you've got more than one account type, yes. So it's related to that, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, if that's everything there, thanks so much. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and we might focus on, I think, reports, unless you guys want to suggest something else. So we'll go into more detail on reports. But thanks so much for listening to me waffle on. And do give me an email or anything like that afterwards if you've got any more information. And obviously we're on the road over the next few weeks and days, and we've got different shows and stuff that we're going to. So hopefully we'll see you there. Come up and talk to us. And obviously we've got new stuff. I must just say one last thing before I go. Don't forget Zeft, our integrated payment solution, now is up and running. So we're going to slowly roll that out over the next few weeks and months. So if you're interested, do give us a shout. Otherwise, hope to see you soon. And thanks for coming in. Cheers.
Super. Thanks, Mark.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.